An appeal to the autism community. What you're being taught as psychology is a complete and utter lie. We got psychologists out there right now pushing the name B.F. Skinner, not radical behaviorism, but what they're really pushing is Edward Thorndike, methodological behaviorism, aka law of effect. Now, Edward Thorndike put down the theory. Conrad Most wrote a book called Training Dogs, which applied all of the theory. The two never met. But the thing of it is, Conrad Most is what you know as applied behavior analysis. Now, for any parent in autism, any psychologist in the autism world, have you ever heard the terms inducements and compulsive inducements? That's not B.F. Skinner, that's Conrad Most, okay? And when you start getting into reward and punishment, guess what? That's Edward Thorndike, not Skinner. B.F. Skinner stated very clearly that punishing contingencies are just a reverse of reinforcing, and also that free will doesn't exist. When your autistic child is acting out, when they're spinning out, when they're stimming, that's not an act of free will. They're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it because they can't help it. There's something in the environment that's causing the problems, that's causing the stim. And that problem is outside the environment. Everything outside of your limbic system, everything outside of your lower brain is the environment. So whatever's going on in the brain, whatever's going on in your body and outside the body, that's what's causing the stimming. Again, behaviors are not an act of free will. Your child cannot help stimming. I used to stim up till 25 years ago, and I stopped because of psychology. Understanding the real psychology of B.F. Skinner, the real psychology of the animal psychology, of B.F. Skinner, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, even Edward Thorndike. Edward Thorndike himself knew that there was no free will, but yet he seen the value in selling free will, because that leaves people open to reward and punishment, and this is all manipulation. Now, why do we have a suicide rate of 25% in the autism world? Now stop and think. There's somewhere between 80 and 160 million people in this world right now that are autistic. 25% of those people have at least attempted suicide once in their life. That's millions. That's a big chunk of people. And why is it happening? Because people are being lied to about what psychology is, the same way dog training is. You're trying to train your child like a bloody dog, and it's not working very well for the dog. Millions of dogs have been behaviorally euthanized by a bunch of people that can't even define the word behavior. These are all dog trainers. Go ask your psychologist to ask you to define the word behavior. They can't do it and they won't do it because they're all pushing Edward Thorndike. And the difference between Edward Thorndike and B.F. Skinner, one is a methodological behaviorist, which doesn't care about subjective. Methodological behaviorism only focuses on objective as behaviors. They're only looking at behaviors objectively, something to stop, something to shut down. But it's subjective that's driving the behaviors. It's all of the past events. It's all of your life's experiences that drive your behaviors today. You can't throw the subjective in the garbage and call yourself a behaviorist. That's the reality. But that's exactly what they're doing. B.F. Skinner, as a radical behaviorist, would tell you to replace your dog with a human child because he understood that the causes of our behaviors is no different from the causes of the dog, the pigeon, or the rat. But that's a bitter pill for people to swallow. And it's not an act of free will. So again, what is causing your child to act out? Something is causing the emotion that's causing the behavior. Psychology doesn't care about the behaviors. It doesn't care about the aggression or reactivity. It only cares about the something that's causing the emotion, because once you understand the emotion, the something that's causing the emotion, and focus and fix the something that's causing the emotion, then the emotion won't need to exist, and neither will the behavior. The behavior as a result will go extinct on its own. That's called extinction. Go ask your psychologist what extinction is. Go ask your trainer or your behaviors to define what extinction is. They're selling aggression and reactivity as a lifelong thing, as a condition you can fix, and it's not a condition at all. Not in humans, not in dogs, not in pigeons, not in cats. That's the reality. We need to have this discussion in the autism community. Because let me tell you something right now. Millions of dogs have been behaviorally euthanized as a result of this garbage. And right now we've got millions of young children and adults trying to behaviorally euthanize themselves as a result of the same system of garbage. So if anybody in the autism community would like to do a live chat and get deep into the psychology of B.F. Skinner and Edward Thorndike and Conrad Most, I would love to, because this conversation needs to happen. Because the same system of garbage that's killing dogs is killing children. It needs to stop. Have a good day.